guys, it's Diana here from Fabulous Fridays, and as you can tell, this is going to be up on Thursday rather than Friday, just because I have time now and my roommate isn't in the room, so I'm going to do it now. Tomorrow is the 3rd, so this is for the 3rd Friday, and my topic this week is about myths, and mine is, once BMI is back within a healthy range, the person is recovered. How this attitude can affect the sufferer when their weight is restored, but they're still recovering. So this is a really big myth. It's kind of a misleading one, in fact. A lot of people kind of judge their health on BMI, but BMI is not a very good way to judge it. Someone can be under a BMI that's considered anorexic, but they can just be, really tall. Someone can be over the BMI for their age, but they can have a lot of muscle. So it kind of depends on more, instead of BMI, like your fat content and muscle content, just because BMI is based on gender, height, and weight. And a lot of people take it as, the only way of viewing their health, when in reality there are lots of different ways to do certain tests to view how healthy you are. BMI is a popular one, but I wouldn't say it's the best one. So this is kind of, if people think that they're better just because they're within a certain BMI, you're wrong. You can be physically better as far as your weight being restored, but you're not going to be mentally better just because you gain some weight back. Having weight gained back is one of the hardest parts about recovering. A lot of people struggle with the whole weight gain thing, going back to a normal weight. I know for me, when I was in recovery, when I was in that phase of renourishment and refeeding and all of that and gaining weight back, I had horrible body image issues. My body was sort of fixed, but my mind just got worse. The more I gained, the more I sort of wanted to not listen to my doctors, and it's almost like a cycle. You can be physically better, but just because you're physically better, do not think that you're automatically going to be mentally better. The body can heal itself pretty quickly. The mind is something that takes a lot longer. My body has healed itself now for about 3 years. Yeah, just over 3 years, because it's September now. I had my eating disorder in August. 3 years ago, it's September. So it's been over 3 years now, like 2 weeks over 3 years since I was inpatient. And I still have troubles with my mind every now and then. I still have body image issues. Eating disorders are really hard. You can be the right weight, you can have your heartbeat back, you can have your stamina back, you can be able to play sports again, you can do everything physically, but if your mind isn't fixed, nothing is really fixed. I feel like doctors, as far as my doctor in the hospital, all he really cared about was getting my body back, getting my weight up, and they didn't really do so well on the whole, let's fix the mental and the physical. They only fixed the physical. They kicked me out of inpatient, and then I was in partial outpatient and IOP, and I still had a mind that was thinking like an anorexic. No wonder it's so hard for people to recover from this disorder, and no wonder so many people relapse, because I feel like our system is kind of skewed. There's so many people on waiting lists, and there aren't enough eating disorder hospitals, at least in America, as well as any other country, any area of the world. There's not enough of them. There's not enough places that specialize in eating disorder treatment. So there's always such long waiting lists that kind of get you in and get you out real quick. And, that's not a good way of helping people and of recovering from an eating disorder. You have to fix the mind. Yes, I'm not saying that the body isn't important. I'm not saying that being underweight isn't important and that, gaining weight back isn't important. That is important. But what I'm trying to say is that, the mind is just as important, if not a little bit more important. So I feel like we should almost do more, sort of therapy than just focus on eat this, eat that, so you can gain the weight back. BMI, I don't judge myself by my BMI. I don't judge myself by my weight. I don't judge the way I look by any number. I judge the way I feel. I judge the way, how far I can run, how much I can push myself in a certain sport. That's how I know if I'm, physically fit or not if I'm a certain weight. I mean, it's stupid. When I was actually at one of my highest weights, it wasn't that I was, fat, it was because I had been weight training and I had been lifting a lot of weights. And a lot of people don't know this, but muscle is actually heavier than fat. Fat itself is very light. And, you're always going to have the same number of fat cells. You're born with the same number of fat cells that you have now. And you never get more or less fat cells. They just shrink. They get, they condense down. When you're anorexic and starve yourself, they condense down to such a small size. But when you're overweight, they just, kind of absorb more fat. Each cell absorbs more fat and each cell grows. So, it's not like you lose fat cells and gain fat cells. It's just that they take different shape. And a lot of people don't understand that. A misconception about BMI is that I know one of my friends has a higher BMI than me, but I would say she's more physically fit than me just because she has so much muscle. She's in a sport where, she's in softball, so she's in a sport where they do a lot of weight training, and weight training is part of their practices, and they do a lot of things with their arms and legs, and she is very physically fit, but then again, she weighs more than me. I mean, BMI to me is just such a weird way of measuring if you're fit or not, because it doesn't take into account muscle, it takes into account weight and height, and someone's BMI may be less, but they may be less physically fit than you. So, don't judge BMI as the only way of being recovered. People think that they get to a certain BMI and they're automatically, I get to a certain BMI, I've never been this BMI before, I'm scared, I don't want to go on, I don't think I can continue eating like this, I don't think I can maintain this healthy lifestyle. They get scared. But, in general, don't let numbers define you. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. Do not let a number you see in a scale define who you are. It really doesn't matter what size you are. No. It matters, your personality, your likes, your friends, your wants. If I gained a ton of weight, I'm pretty sure my friends would still be my friends. They wouldn't look at me any differently just because I had gained weight. I don't think they would even notice if I gained weight. They wouldn't care because I would still treat them the same way. So I don't see why people have to be a certain weight, and if they're not, their life is going to end. Alright, I hope this video helped you guys, and I'll talk to you next week, I guess. Bye!